Hello, 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 everyone. Do I need to knock, knock, knock? Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Queens, the podcast, sponsored by House of Peach. Yo, we here. Queens is here. We have a dope panel, and we're going to bring them on. You're going to get to meet the panel. I first want to give a shout out to all of the different shows that are on the House of Peach platform. We are here. Queens is here. How is everyone doing tonight? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome. Here comes the panel. Yay! How's everyone doing tonight?
Good, good. How are you?
Great.
All right. I'm glad to hear. Glad to hear. We're gonna get into it, but I want to give a chance so that everyone hits the share button, hits the like button. Trust me, share this out on your social media. It doesn't cost any money to show that you care. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and hit that share button, hit that like button. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to us. We appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? This is a very dope show. Y'all know how I talk. Those of you that know Smack, it's called Faces of Fierceness. I thought like our first show should be a show where you get to meet our panelists, meet them and see what they're all about, okay? So, we're going to get this thing started off right. If I want to say this, if you're on any of our pages and you're tuned in on anyone's page and you don't have that little share symbol by your name, that means you didn't share it. Come on, support the women. Support us. Please share. All right. So, I like to bring everyone's titles will come up as they come up to the main screen where you see me here. I am the host of this beautiful first show. And then as they come up, you would get to see their names as well as their names and who they are. And you're going to hear them answer some questions. The questions I have tonight is so you can get to know our panelists. This is who you will be um, hanging with, chilling with, getting to, hear what their thoughts are. I will say a majority of us, some of us know each other, but with the type of questions that we'll be asking on this panel, it can get deep sometime, and you'll get to hear. You never know. You might have someone who's got the same feelings as you, okay, or thinks the same as you. And we all here are mentors. We are not gatekeepers. So if you got questions, hit us up outside of this, okay? So, ladies, here's the question: who are you outside of your business? What is the story behind the woman before the brand? That is the question. That's the first one. And I'd like to bring up our first panelist. Let's see, Kadisha. Hope I'm saying your name right. And if not, I know you'll let me know. I think she's frozen. Okay, we're going to have to come back to you. I will tell you if you're like in a car, you have to come off the Wi-Fi and you have to be on your. It's not going to work on Wi-Fi. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm gonna bring Michelle to the forefront, please, and I'll repeat the question: who are
Okay.
you outside of your business? What is the story behind the woman before the brand?
Well, the story behind the woman is the brand. Okay. I believe that the story of who and what I am developed into my brand. What I do for business, like many of us, I wear multiple hats. I'm an MC, I do public speaking, I write, I'm a poet, um, and I host a podcast. And I think that's it. Probably some other things. I do mentoring, but I think that a lot of that comes and in the message and in my brand is that, you are enough and you have your own superpowers that you don't know. I often tell people who would be surprised that this little girl from the east side of Detroit who left home in her teens, who has an adult son, who's been on her own and taking care of herself since her teens, can go on and be anywhere and do anything and bring a message that will bring people together. My tagline is that, standing in my truth in the crosshairs of my intersectionality and creating change. Um, Boldly doing that. That's what I do. That's my brand. That's my life. And that's what I try to include and help other people recognize that in themselves.
Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. I'm going to bring Ariel to the front. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. So glad to be here. A little bit of a scratchy throat, so bear with me if I sound a little bit rough tonight.
It's okay.
Um, so who am I beyond the brand? Well, yeah, that's a toughie, right? Because you wear all of the hats, and sometimes you start to become your business a little bit. So I'm also do all of the things. So I have my own custom clothing business. I am also the Women's Entrepreneurship Coordinator for the YWCA Tri-County area. So I help other women entrepreneurs be successful. I am a writer. I'm a mom. All of the things. Um, but yeah, I guess just trying to like carve out those pieces for myself are that are those self-care things that feed who I am. Um, and yeah, because I think that you do your business and you are so inextricably linked when you are like the main front person for all of the things and the quality of the work that gets put out there by you. There's almost no way to completely separate the two. But to make sure that you prioritize yourself and a work-life balance and all of that. People who know me know that I'm really good about the boundaries around my personal time and my free time. And working with who I want to work with and helping who I want to help. I just think, the other part of that is always having a philosophy of learning and leaving the world a better place than you found it. So
Amazing. I love
amazing.
that.
I love that.
Okay, next up, Tamia.
Evening, everyone. Hold on, I'm muted. The host has muted my mic.
Oh, I didn't mute it.
Somebody did. Anyway, good evening, ladies. Um, so I'm Tamia Giselle Michaels. That's my brand. The woman behind my brand is Tamia Martinez. Very much living my auntie role right now. I have two beautiful nephews that I take care of, or I help my sister take care of. I very much family oriented. I have a younger brother that I live with and take care of him, help him with my mom. Um, but yeah, I think the woman outside of the brand is definitely a family woman. Um, I do like to instill lessons into my nephews, even though one is only 2 years old and the other one is 7, who's about to be 8. But definitely like to help lift them up, show them right from wrong, and do the best I can to be the best auntie I can.
Awesome. Lee. Appreciate that, Tamia. Gonna bring Lee up. You need me to repeat the question or you got it?
Yeah, I got it. So your questions are hard. I just want you to know that you set the questions. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is really like going to dive into things. So, but I love it. I think that women should be more vulnerable around other women. So I'm here for it. Before nonprofit leader, performer, or entrepreneur, I'm also a writer. I was just a kid that was silenced by a world that didn't see or hear me. And I'm a survivor. I'm a fighter. I was nonverbal till I was 9, raised in an environment of abuse. I came out when I was 12, And in doing so, my brother shot me and my mother stabbed me 17 times, thinking that that would keep me from being gay. Didn't work. I build businesses. I found love. I buried a wife of 30 years. I found myself through drag. Started working in the community. And so I think that if a person outside of my brand, I think I'm a warrior who decided that pain was not going to define me and that I would define myself with purpose.
An amazing story. Wow. Definitely want to, you know, tap into that a little more. And, I just want to let you know I'm here for you if you ever need a friend. You know what I mean? Someone to talk to, put that shoulder on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to answer the question as well. Yeah. Oh, Kanisha.
Oh,
Oh, she disappeared again. Okay. That's all right. Kanisha is a very cool person. I've been liking. There she is. Hey, Kanisha. Are you able to unmute her? Talking to our tech team. Oh, you can't unmute her. Okay. All right. We're going to come back to you. Your mic is muted, Kanisha. Um, so to answer the question, who am I before the brand? I am I'm a fighter. When I say fighter, I mean um, fighting, mentally. I'm gonna keep it real. Fighting physical pain, fighting mentally. That has been my toughest thing lately. I'm gonna be real. A lot of you on here may not know. Some of you chiming in for the first time may know that I've been fighting cancer since 2022. And before the brand, I'm a fighter. So I'm gonna be fight like smack all day long. I'm a person who is a helper, and so I'm a loving person. I have been with my significant other for 8 years now, and it's been amazing, you know. But I think the thing that really defines me before the brand is that I'm not a gatekeeper. I want to help people. I want to show them the way. I want to, add something to what they got going on or give some advice. And that's who I am. All right. So, y'all got some great answers tonight. So, I got a question though, because a lot of people have asked me this. Were there any defining queen moments where you knew you were walking in your power? When you knew you were walking in your power, meaning this is what, hey, this, yeah, I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Was there a moment? Ariel, I see you smiling, so I'm going to call on you first.
That's what I get. So no, it was after we had a pitch competition, right, for the YWCA. And like I had been running the program like kind of like totally on my own for about like, maybe like a year, almost exactly at that point. And we had like 30 applicants and a full room of like women owned small businesses. And like I had never really gotten any feedback from like what I was doing. Like I created that program from the ground up and like just had been kind of like trying to be the coach and the mentor that I needed, and to provide a lot of foundational information. Like, and I really just had to like kind of dig in and like study all the time to get it. And so at the end of that, like everybody who participated was like, I just feel like this was such a great day. I felt so poured into. I felt so uplifted. The women who won like talked about how this was going to catapult their businesses. And really that moment was like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like the way the community came together to support them, it really felt like we were doing something really important for women, but also in our specific community, where there just is not a lot of support for BIPOC businesses or with women-owned businesses, and certainly not for both. So that would be like my moment where I was able to see my impact in real time and feel it in my heart that that was what I'm supposed to be doing. And you know how it is, like, you know, those late nights, early mornings, weekends, time away from your family, time not sleeping, like it felt like it was worth it in that moment.
Wow, that's really great. I feel like you in my head. Did you? What was the name of that? Did you say pitch?
Yeah, so we had so I'm a big fan of acronyms. So it was the Be Bold pitch competition. Bold stands for um building opportunities, leading defiantly.
That's crazy you say that because in our last executive meeting, well, not our last. This is something we've been planning since the beginning of the year. But I've been asking when are we going to do it, and it's called Pitch Her Purpose. You know what I mean? And it's coming soon, so
Mhm.
we may be reaching out to you. That's awesome. I love WYCA, by the way. Yeah, we'll definitely give you a call, but it's definitely on Hop's timeline for early next year. So thank you. Okay,
Absolutely.
Lee, coming to Kanisha after that. You need me to
Um,
repeat the question or you got it?
I got it.
All right.
So I think a moment that stands out for me is one day I was at a networking event. I started looking around the room and realized that I was one of two women in it. And I thought, wow, that was kind of a weird situation to be in. So I watched the men just uplift one another constantly, like, yeah, you got this, and I'm gonna help you with this, and let's go golf and let's go do this, and I got somebody that can help you. And I saw the only other woman in the room just kind of stand in a corner. She just shrunk into the wall. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucked. And I knew then that Changemaker needed to be in rooms that they didn't belong in, and I was going to make it a purpose to make sure that I did that, and not only a purpose to be in the room, but to open doors for others to be in that room as well. So if I was told that somebody couldn't do it, I was like, okay, cool. I put myself on the docket. I made sure that I was going to have time to speak, and then I would leave the room and let somebody else speak for me. So those were defining moments for me, to be in rooms where they are mostly men, and making sure that I'm no longer silent, but that I'm the force that they have to reckon with, and that they realize that my presence is a revolution for all women.
Oh, I love it. Yes. Um, let's see. Kanisha, you gotta hit that microphone there. You're muted. Okay, we'll come back to you, Kanisha. You're muted. We can't hear you. All right, we're gonna come back to you, Tamia.
So, a defining queen moment for me. Um, for those who don't know, I'm an entertainer and I'm also HIV positive. Um, Being an entertainer kind of sets a stage for for you to access other individuals to um, share your life struggles and reach out and give hope to those who probably are hopeless. Um, but with that being said, being out to one of my shows up in Wilmington at Crimson Moon, um, we had our annual Miss Gay Wilmington pageant, and I was just out there speaking, and I guess I was really stalling time, so it wasn't an intentional thing, um, which I think it kind of makes it more of a magical queen moment. But in that stalling, I shared the story of me being HIV positive, and even though I have a supportive family and a supportive social group, that it does kind of struggle with this alone. I have to struggle with this alone. Reaching out to those individuals who are in the audience who are also HIV positive and even younger generation, it kind of made me feel good in admitting that little bit of vulnerability. And, they all accepted, or they still accept me with open arms, regardless of the stigma that they say against HIV. So that probably would be my moment.
Ah, that's what's up. That's a powerful story right there. I wish I was there with you.
It was definitely a fun moment. Not gonna lie. Went downstairs, cried a little bit with them, because they had just recently been positive. I think maybe 2 years at the time, so it was still fresh, and I still remember when it was fresh news for me. And I mean, even to this day, I still have moments where it's unreal and I get emotional. So to share a moment and let somebody know in this world where sometimes we feel alone, we aren't actually alone.
Yes, great advice. I remember. I think I don't know if it was Me Fest or Pride in Dover. I remember you coming up to me and the passion that came out of your voice about what was about to come, with this new president possibly coming in. And you were sharing with me a lot of things, but the passion that came out of your mouth, I don't know if you remember me telling you it's time for you to find other people who feel like you do, Tamia, and let your voice be heard. Do you remember that?
I do, and it was Me Fest because I think we had shortly after Delaware Pride, um, and I had just got done performing, and I think it was a small crowd because it was just still the early morning. But yes, I do think that it's come to a point where when you find the people like you, don't shun them away, pull them in close, because there are people out there who are just going to pry us apart no matter what. And when you realize that we are stronger together than we are apart, this whole world will be a lot better.
Yes. I remember telling my other half, I said, they're going to be on a stage with many lights around them, not from the entertainment, but out here advocating and getting things right for the community. So I appreciate you.
I'm trying.
Um, who did not? Michelle, did I get that? Michelle, you want to come to the front? Um, I'm gonna repeat the question because I see Kanisha's back again. When were there any defining queen moments where you knew you were walking in your power?
Well, I'm gonna go deep in the vault, way far back. And I mentioned that I left home early. And often we talk about how we find family. So community has always been my family. And I've often tried to use who and what I am to lift up, advocate, and do things. And so I was, and I did a lot of volunteering things. And at that time, that was it. So I had been with an organization that was doing low income housing, low income and transitional housing. And there was lots of things for men, but they had asked if I would come and speak on behalf of what women needed, because there was a period of time when I didn't have a home. And so it was like, okay, well, I can do this. So I went up and I advocated for my sisters who needed it. And I advocated and also about how important it was that if we did this, how everyone had a right to have a home and to have a place over there to do as a community. And so I did that, and people often say, oh, how can you get up there and talk before all these people? And I would tell, even now, my legs sometimes shake, but you can't see it because I'm behind the podium. So I gave my speech and I felt real good. And afterwards, the head of this nonprofit came out and they gave me a Good Neighbor Award. And when I got off the stage, I said, okay, this working in the community is right. And I had women come up and say, oh, you talked for me. And I thought, wow, that's what I feel my role is. But in the back of the room, my mother had come. And I was shocked, My mother had come and she walked up and she said, I didn't always know where you were headed, but this is who you are. This is what you're supposed to do. And you'll never have to worry about where I am, because as long as I'm here, I've got your back. And so it was that my community family, women who I wanted to talk to, but most important that I knew then this was whether even with my knees shaking, this is who I am and what I'm supposed to do.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. That's an amazing story. We're going to go ahead and see if Kanisha's ready. Kanisha. Oh, we can't hear you, Kanisha. Unmute, hit your mic. Is there a drop down where you can choose the mic? The arrow right next to the mic. There should be a drop down.
So hard. She has so much to say.
And you can choose what mic you want to use. If you're on a computer, it's probably showing different mics.
She's in her car on a phone.
She's on her laptop.
Oh, she's
her
on
phone is to the side.
Okay.
A phone?
There should be a microphone at the bottom, and there is a down arrow. If you hit that down arrow, you have to choose the microphone you want to use, but you also have to hit allow. If you're on Microsoft Edge, it is not going to work, and you may have to go into Google Chrome or Firefox. And also, I'm seeing the tech person said, turn up your sound on your computer. All right. Let's give it a moment. I really want her to be able to chime in. She is a part of our panel. You see the down arrow on the camera? You may have to drop your number in there so that the tech person can give you a call in the chat to help you get going. You may need to come out, come back in. I do know you have to hit allow through Restream, okay? So, all right, we're going to keep going. So I want to answer the question about the defining moment. I want to say I'm going to talk about me as an activist. When I knew it was a defining moment for me it was on social media, and there was something happening in downtown Dover, and there was a woman from Seaford commenting. Back then it was probably about, I don't know, probably about 10 years ago, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. 10 or 12. Oh, is that Kanisha? Yeah, you might need to drop your number in there so that the tech person can get you right. You're not coming through. We can't hear you. But it's about 10 years ago. And a lady had said the most disrespectful comment, talking about somebody should just die because the police, someone has said, why did it take the police this long, to get here, or even an ambulance to assist someone. And so when I found out that this lady from Seaford they should just let him die. I just thought that it wasn't proper, and she made a judgment on someone that she didn't know. So me, I went raped her page and found out she was a dispatcher for the Seaford Police Department. She's the person you call her, and then she'll decide whether you need an ambulance or not. I'm like, whoa. So then I just kept watching her page for a little while, and then Okay. And so what I did was I was like, wow, what is going on? Well, and I started seeing her make a lot of racial comments. And so I started up a petition, and at that time I had a radio station it was called Below the Surface Radio. So I made my radio show about her. And that's what I did. And then I got a petition, and I started a petition. And let me tell y'all, I was in a matter of a month's time. When I tell you, I kept applying pressure. The media kept reaching out to me, that all kinds of, news people. I didn't want to talk to them. I wanted to talk to the chief of police for Seaford, Delaware. He finally called me and said, let's set up a meeting. We set up that meeting. And during that time, they changed the what's it called, like codes on people who work for the state.
For the state.
They put some what do you call it, they put some new rules into play for people who work for the city. That means you could not be on your social media, which they allowed them to say, if you have a social media, you have to remember that you are um you know basically about your character. And when I came there, I brought him the petition. I brought it to him printed, and I also emailed it to him. That had close to 3,000, I think it was 368 signatures. And I explained to him why that was important to me, because my father lives in that city. And that time my dad was taking dialysis. So if my father were to call 911, and the way that this woman feels, and this woman is the dispatcher that night, she could wait, because her comments were very racist. I said she could wait to decide to send my dad an ambulance, and I don't want my dad dying at the cost of her. And so that was when I knew, hey, I can do this activism. And that was my defining moment, is when I took over close to 3,700 signatures down the Seaford, Delaware. And because the chief made good on his word, I didn't even go to media about it. They just knew about it, saw it on social media, but they never got an interview from me, because the chief did what he said he was going to do. And she was reprimanded. She no longer works
Yeah.
there anymore. And that made me feel good.
No, I don't. No, I
Oh,
don't. I'm on my laptop and I'm on my phone at the same time.
oh, we
Oh,
can
can
hear
y'all hear
you,
me?
Keisha.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey.
right.
Hey.
So let's let you get in
We
here and
hear you.
answer this question. What was your
Okay.
Were there any defining queen moments where you knew you were walking in your power?
Any defining queen moments? Let's see. Any defining queen moments? I would say my health is a really big thing for me. So one of my defining queen moments would be the day that I realized that I put my Crohn's disease in remission, going all natural, and that was a blessing for me to be able to do that with the help of my doctors, but as myself with learning how to be natural and holistic. So that was one of my most defining moments, to just be able to tell myself that I can do anything that I put my mind to, and that I am capable of healing my own self. That was one of my defining moments that I definitely am very proud of, especially being on pharmaceuticals for 10 years and 22 pills a day for that period of time, and now being natural and holistic for over 8.5 years. I'm very blessed to be able to say that I put my Crohn's in remission during a very pivotal time in society, doing the COVID-19 phase. So I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you. I know since you and I became friends, I've been learning a lot, and I've been hitting up my good friend Zoe Patchell about some of the stuff I see on your page, because she's usually my go-to. Because with me fighting cancer, I'm trying to do that natural thing too, but I'm still going to take my chemo, but we need to cut down on some of these pills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so I appreciate all the education you flow through your page. Thank you so much, because
Oh,
I
you're
didn't even
welcome.
what some of that stuff was, and you're educating us, and I appreciate that. We're
Well,
going to get into empowerment and identity. And what does being a queen mean to you in business and in life? And I'm going to go to Tamia first. What does being a queen mean to you in business and in life?
First and foremost, to be a queen in life, to put yourself first. Um, just as they say, like when you're in an airplane and something were to happen, oxygen mask come out. Put the mask on you, because without you, how are you going to save your family? I think that is definitely one of the biggest queen traits that any one woman should have, because we are always putting our families first. We are always putting our children first. And I understand that, you know, it's a wrong thing, but at the sometimes we put ourselves too far back that we forget about ourselves. And that's, I feel, is the most defining thing any queen can do, is when she puts herself first, she wears her crown and wears it proudly. um as far as the business goes, being able to handle the business just like any other man could. And I feel as though there are plenty of women out there who are capable of doing a lot better than what the men have done. I think it's been proven time and time again, and that's why I feel this current political climate we're in is because it's proven that the men are getting scared, that the women are having voices and getting stronger and louder. And hey, if they were married to us, and they know what it's like when we start raising our voices and getting our way. um, but to be able to hold your own and not back down when you know that something is truly right, when you know that in your gut and in your chest that what you're doing with your business is meant to encourage, it's meant to build, it's meant to provide, it's not meant to knock down or destroy somebody's home, it's not meant to keep people away from their families just so that the person can build a buck. But true, genuine love and compassion that I think only queens have.
Ding, ding, ding. There it is. Okay, we're going to go to Kanisha next.
okay. So give me the, what was it again?
Okay, this is to deal with empowerment and identity. What does being a queen mean to you in business and in life?
So my brand in business is me, Kanisha Lacole. So being a queen to me, and something that I teach my mentees, is walking in your truth and self-love, being bold, um,
Mm,
being you, being fierce, um, be, being just authentic without having to worry about what somebody else thinks. Being a queen to me means fixing other queens' crowns. Being a queen to me means believing in myself. Being a queen to me means empowering others to believe in themselves as well. So my brand in business is me. So being a queen for business as well as in life is the same thing, because I like to empower other people and influence people to do the same, to walk in their boldness, to be free, to be happy, to love themselves, and to always love on other people.
awesome. Woo! I love it. You know, this is called Faces of Fierceness. Y'all see this panel, right? Look, before I go to the next panelist, I need you to go ahead and get that share by your beside your name, that little icon that says share. I need you to hit the share right now. I need you to pound the like button. As my boy Hassan Campbell says, violate that like button. Okay, violate it. But yes, please do that for us. Thank y'all so much. All right, Lee, you're up next.
So being a queen to me is walking into every room knowing that you belong, whether they see it yet or not. That's the key. It's not about crowns, it's not about titles, which I have both. It's about claiming your worth. Refusing to dim your light, being unapologetically yourself, being unapologetically powerful and kind. But I believe that a queen leads in love, fights with grace, and builds with purpose. So that's it.
Mm, I love it. I love it. I see you, Ariel, smiling. So sorry you got a sore throat tonight, but you up next.
I'm, I'm about to just be like what she said. Um,
Yeah.
but no, I guess for me, when I think of it, like I always think of queens as leadership. Like, you know, you lead from the front, you lead by example. Um, but it's also not being afraid when people don't like you, right? To not be liked by every single person, to stand on your morals, ethics, what's really important, and then let that be your guiding light um, in everything that you do. So I feel like that's kind of like what it means to me, and I love that, you know, unapologetically, you know, true to yourself and the things that matter. And I think, you know, especially as we look at the current climate that we're all in and existing in right now, like it was so important to do that personal inventory of what do I really care about and what am I unwilling to compromise on going forward, and then to bring that energy everywhere that you go.
Yes. Yes. Great, Ariel. Love it. Michelle.
Hey, I'm back. Like, is it Kanisha? If I messed up, I'm sorry. Um, my brand is me, and my business is me. So I think that it's about shifting the atmosphere. When I come in to a room or a space, I want to change that atmosphere from being where people are maybe don't see the connection, but to see the interconnectivity and how we're stronger together. And whether it's a room of kids, and I've done like a group of like tough audience, a classroom of fifth graders, to a big event where it was like thousands of people, to not only bring a message to do that, but then also to make yourself accessible, to be authentic so that they know. I mean, I can tell you that there are people who go like, if someone was to say something, they go, "Oh no, that's not Michelle." You know, because you must be authentic and you have to bring that to where it is. And then you might not change it, but you can shift that atmosphere. You cannot maybe not change hearts and minds, but you're going to move hearts and minds so that we're stronger together. That's what being a queen is. It's not like to be like, oh, I'm all, no, I'm of, for, and by the people. And that's what you're supposed to be. And speak that into reality.
Mm, love it. Did I miss anybody? Tamia, yeah, Tamia went. Okay.
Yeah, I was the first one to go.
Yeah. So, to answer that question, I feel like you know, I feel like the past, I'm gonna say 8 years ago, I was a princess. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was a princess. And when I say that is, there were certain things I just would not do because of the fear of how um I would be perceived, because here I am, a tomboy, you know what I'm saying? And a black gay tomboy that don't like dressing up. So how you get it is how you get it. But I got an important message, or I want to help, or I want to join this organization, but I'm scared to because how they perceive me. If it wasn't for my other half and showing me my purpose, like I got a lot of purpose, and me believing in me, I am a queen today. You know what I mean? I don't want to be no man. And I hate that people put that type of stigma on me. So with being a queen, that means that, my crown, sometimes, I gotta adjust it. but I have no problem. This year was a challenge for me walking into rooms where I was the only Black person, but I'm the one that's facilitating. And I didn't have to worry how they were going to perceive me because I went up in there with my head held high. And hey, this is me. You either like it or you don't. And let's get this training. And, I didn't make that kind of message, but that was the walk.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
took me back to my childhood when my grandmother always say your shoulders back and your head up. You know what I mean? So that's what being a queen is. I feel like in business or in life, I'm the same person. I'm gonna keep my head high. I'm gonna stand on my principles. And if I see another queen that whose crown is tilted, I'm gonna go ahead and let's get that back on track. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am. And I'm sorry if the passion came through, but that's what being a queen is for me. It's being a leader, as Ariel says. It's a leadership role. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people appreciate me for just sometimes you want to be an advocate. I'm gonna overload you with a bunch of information to get you right. People will tell you that. I will overload you, but and let you know where all kind of trainings are. You can come over here with me and I'll train you however. But I'm not a gatekeeper and I love giving people, especially our females out here, our women out here, I love giving them the knowledge. If someone can't find something, I'm very resourceful. And I feel like that is what a queen is because you want to build up other leaders like yourself in a world where we are not treated correctly and continue to empower those around us to be even stronger leaders. So that's where it is for me. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. I got all right. So here we go. We're going to go down to business and branding. What challenges did you face as a woman entrepreneur and how did you overcome them? And I'm going to bring Lee to the center.
I knew you were going to start with me. So, this one was hard. I have a hard time. I'm like Smack. I'm more masculine than feminine. So people don't quite see me as a queen. So all the questions that were coming as queen, 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 I was like, you know, having a time of like seeing myself more feminine than masculine. So here goes. Trying to be a queer woman, a drag performer, a comedian, a writer, a survivor, a nonprofit leader, all in one. Well, that in itself is the challenge, right? It's being all the things that are outside of what people consider the norm. So I've been underestimated, talked over, dismissed more times than I can remember. But I own my own narrative now, and by doing that, I stopped waiting for people to give me a seat at the table and just started building the tables to sit at.
That's what's up. I like that.
Mhm.
I'm going to go to
Mhm.
Kanisha next.
Okay, so one thing that I guess I've faced being a woman in business and how I've handled it. Um, my business is I'm very different and I'm very eccentric. So I'm a firm believer in loving on people and I'm a very spiritual person. So I lead by love and lead by energy. And a lot of times I'm looked at as someone who cannot complete the task. Like I can't, like I just don't fit in. I can't do it. It's just not going to work. People don't believe me. And one thing that I've done is stuck by what I believe in, which is myself being a queen. I believe in myself first and foremost. And I have chosen to keep pushing forward and to keep pushing forward, regardless of what anybody thinks. Point blank, period, has made me feel and made me be such a better person in business and in life. And that is how I've conquered it by just focusing on the love I have within myself.
Awesome. Thank you, Kanisha. We're going to go to Michelle next.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm a warrior queen. I have been a warrior queen. And being a warrior queen, what I have hit is I've been not black enough, too black. the only female in the room. We're not having doing people wanting to hear your voice and people seeing the things that I do and want to put me in a silo. I have spoken before groups of many women. I've of all races. I have spoken before mostly white women. I've spoken in classrooms. I've been to the White House and talked with presidents. And what they do, people often they think I'm going to come in and well, okay. And yeah, I often come in with a girly look because that's me. And I am unapologetically me. And so, yeah, I might come in, but don't forget that I am a warrior queen. And I think that that's what you find that often that people will either, oh, she does poetry, or oh, I saw her do this, and oh, I saw her do that. And they think I'm going to come in there and just sort of go like a roses are red, violets are blue, or I don't have an opinion on what's happening in the world or what needs to happen in my community, not only my LGBTQ community, my community of women, my community of single mothers, people who are homeless. I have very strong opinions and I'm very knowledgeable on the things that I come because if I'm going to open my mouth, I know what I'm talking about. And I think that when you walk in the room as a Black and say, I am a Black queer woman and I stand behind every bit of it, you have to be a warrior. You have to be ready for the fight. And I'm ready for the fight.
Awesome. Oh, I love it. Okay. Ariel, you're up next.
So for me, where I struggled as a woman was always like people trying to diminish, like what I'm doing, like that qualification thing comes up a lot. Like, are you qualified to be here? How did you learn to do this? That kind of stuff. And always trying to make you smaller than you are. And usually it's for their own benefit. Like, when we're talking about like any kind of that customer service piece, like, oh, well, if you're smaller, then
Mhm.
your price, your worth is negotiable. Right. And then, just that would be like one of those things. And it's just like, absolutely not. Um, Full grown Ariel completely understands her worth and
Mhm.
um, really is different than when I first started it. I mean, you learn some lessons the hard way, unfortunately, but that would be the one that would be the struggle that I learned. And then the guilt, because you do have so many things to do and you always feel like I always felt like I was spinning plates, right? Like, so anytime I took my eye off something else, like another thing was being left unattended and possibly to fall and shatter, like, with my family, with myself. And obviously I think a lot of women struggle with the self plate the most being a priority. So like, when you're trying to have a business and possibly a job and kids and parents and partners, and that self one doesn't seem like it's worth the effort to run all the way over there to, give it a little bit of time and attention. But um, that's where I struggled a lot as a woman in business.
That's what's up. I love it. I love it. I love it. Tamia.
I guess the elephant in the room, the biggest struggle for me, I guess, is when people question my my being a woman in most aspects, and questioning my ability to handle things as I guess a woman should. Um, Being trans, you're already born on the wrong foot. You have to fight different battles just to feel comfortable in yourself. Um, and I feel as though also finding myself, um, as I have my nephew right here, go decide. Um, as I kind of struggle with advocating and having affirmation in me being a woman, it does kind of hurt when you have people questioning just how much of a woman you are by simply opening my mouth, because I understand that my voice is a little deeper. I might look like Betty and I sound like Barry. I get it. But it does hurt when you have just the person who you know, or the person you know you are meant to be, is questioned from everybody just on the simple basis of their
Mhm.
small mind, when they can't open the capacity to
Mhm.
realize that some things don't have to go or get done the same way you do them. And I feel as though being a queen and battling struggles of identity, you have to realize, like, to clean a house, it doesn't have to be cleaned a certain way. To run your life, it doesn't have to be run a certain way.
Mhm.
You find your
Mhm.
own way, you find your own walk, you hold your hair up, whether it be no hair at all, or you have a full on 18-inch crown like I have one. It's
Mhm.
just the struggle of finding and affirming who you are.
Awesome. Okay, I thank you for sharing that and being so transparent with us. To me, I love that. I think people need to hear that message. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go to the next question. And this is a great question. And this is still in the business and branding. What advice would you give to women trying to turn their passion into a profitable brand? What advice would you give to a woman trying to turn their passion into a profitable brand? I'm going to start off with Michelle.
Oh, cool. Well, I would tell them, first of all, there's nothing wrong with the words hustle and grind. Okay, because if you want to make it your business, you're gonna have to hustle and you're gonna have to put grind and put that work in. And you will have to make some sacrifices, and you do have to balance what matters, what matters. And that, and I always tell people, always have some way to communicate what you do, either a business card, have it on your phone, because you never know when the opportunity is going to be there, and be able to switch on that dime and to know and to tell someone what you do. I mean, when I started to write, I would go like, well, I do this and that. But once I claimed that what I was going to be, if you ask me what I am, I'll tell you. I'm an MC, I host a podcast, I write, I public speak. You claim that, and that is who you are. And when someone have your, what they used to call the elevator speech, have that ready, because you always need to be on your grind and on your hustle. Don't look for, and more people who are going to smile in your face but don't have your back. And most importantly, if someone wants what you do, ask for money. And I know, oh, give me some money. Not, you got to say, oh, if someone asks, says, Michelle, I'd like for you to come and speak, I say, what do you have in your budget for a speaker? I value myself. Yeah, there's some things that I give away, I'm going to do because I believe in it. But sometimes put a value on what you do and your service, and don't be ashamed to ask for it, because you're worth it.
I love it. I love it. Next up, Lee.
So this one was the easy one for me. Get clear on your why. Protect your boundaries. Remember, passion alone doesn't pay the bills. Be strategic. Align yourself with mentors. Do your homework. Don't be afraid to oh my god, I can't even talk now. Don't be afraid to ask for money for what you're great at. How's that? And your story is
Mm-hmm.
your brand, and you have to share it boldly. Can't be afraid to share it. Align yourself with Ariel Baker because she runs a program called the We 360, which helps women entrepreneurs start, sustain, and grow businesses. And then become a member of Muse, which is mentoring and uplifting strong entrepreneurs, which is a program through Changemaker, which is a nonprofit. Both of those programs are free for women to join.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Lee. All right. Some great things. I hope. Oh, but before we go anywhere, can everybody that's tuned in hit the share, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and hit the like button and share it. Get shared by your name. All right. I'm gonna go to Kadisha.
Okay, so what I would say is for your brand, because my business is very, I would say my business is very difficult for people to understand, where I'm very natural and holistic. A lot of people don't believe in the things that I do. They're starting to pick up. So I would definitely say one thing is to always, first and foremost, everybody has given great points. So I'm going to start from the beginning, because what they said is what I'm going to say, what needs to be said before all of that. Love what you do. Um, so therefore, there is that passion behind what you do. So you're not tired of what you do. It's not going to be a job. It actually be something that you're interested in, something that you're passionate about, something that's going to lead you into a place of maybe leading other people into being the best that they could be. Even if it's not that, at least you can lead other people into the best role, or whatever particular service that you provide can be done the best way that it can be if you love what you do. So, being that everybody said everything already, I'm a firm believer in loving what you do for it to be a business, for it to thrive.
Love it. Thank you, Kanisha. Ariel.
So for me, what comes up for me and us a lot is people getting stuck in that ideas phase and not getting to that planning phase. So, or thinking incorrectly that you are already in the planning phase when you're still in the ideas phase. And I think that a lot of, it's a hesitation thing. Like you're standing at the edge of that cliff and, you're hoping that the parachute you are building is strong enough to carry you through, both financially and emotionally. But you have to jump, you have to do the thing, and you've got to get into that plan space. And plans require research. They require conversations with other professional people. They cannot be accomplished by yourself in a room with a laptop and no other communication with anyone else. So I would say that. And then as far as branding, I always say just do what resonates for you, and then you make it resonate for your customers, right? If it has meaning to you, and then you are passionately explaining why that black and white butterfly meant this to you, people are gonna feel that and they're gonna follow um, along with on your journey with you. It's like the most authentic branding that you can do, to really get people like on your side and feeling that your story is part of their story. So
Thank you, Ariel. I appreciate that. Up next, Tavia.
All right. So, with hearing the question and things have been said, for me, to turn a passion into a profitable brand doesn't always necessarily mean money for me. Now, again, this is just my personal opinion and how I view things. I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. I'm not knocking anybody's grind. Make that coin, because baby, I go out there and I dance and I do what I do for money. So how you make your money is up to you. But for me to make a brand truly profitable would have to be the connections and the networking that I make, because I feel as though there's so much money that I could pour into my business and make it grow, but if I don't have people to help it grow, then what's the point? What's the point of having a community and sharing business ideas, or um, just help support for other businesses? I think one thing that's, I guess, forgotten about is the whole, what people would do, service for service, basically. If you do this for me, I'll do that for you. It wasn't always, all right, you do this for me, how much do I pay you? And I feel people got more out of a service for service kind of transaction than it became out of money. But again, as I said, that's just my personal opinion that you should base your profitable network off, or base your brand and be profitable off of networking.
Okay, great. I like everything that everyone has said. You know, I heard a little bit of things that I keep in mind. You know, when you have that passion, you got to go ahead. I've heard, you know, you can't let it just be a thought. You got to act on it and get out there and do it. So I thought that that was great. I saw heard what Tamia said. That's one of my things. Network is key. Your network is your net worth. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of great messages were brought out in these faces of fierceness, as y'all see before us. We're going to go ahead and get into the next question, and that question is: how important is sisterhood in your journey? Do you believe women are really supporting women enough in business? I'll let y'all think on that. You know, how important is sisterhood in your journey? Do you believe women are supporting women enough in business? And I'm going to go to Kanisha first.
Okay. How do I feel? Do I feel women are supporting women? No, not enough from what I see. Yes and no, in a sense, I should say. I would say we need to do a little bit better in some aspects, in some areas. There's what they say, like the crabs in the barrel type things. We don't support each other enough. Um, I mean, there are some people who do. I feel like we should just be able to do it a little more. Um, what was the other portion? What was your first part of the question?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I
How
forgot.
important is sisterhood in your journey?
How important is sisterhood? I believe I'm a very different person. Because I've learned to do things alone. I believe that sisterhood can be very important and beneficial in the growth of your business, in the growth of your life, period. When you find someone that you can connect to and grow with. Um, I believe sisterhood is very important, especially when it comes to your mental health. If you need someone to talk to, and also encouragement and empowerment, I believe that sisterhood is definitely important when it comes to growth as well, because sometimes we just need somebody in our ear to be able to help guide us or give us that extra choice or perspective to be able to look into, to be able to give us that thought process that puts us in a different way. Um, I definitely believe we could do better with supporting each other, but I also believe that there is some gaps there between, you know, how sometimes there's that mentality where people look at people funny because they look different. They don't sound like them. They don't do the things that they do, and they don't agree with them in a certain
Hmm.
sense. So I believe we need to break that stigma and just support people in general with love, regardless of, you know, as long as, you know, it's not anything like aggressive or anything like that. I believe we need to support each other more. That's just my thought process because I think a little differently because I've always done things alone. So having a sisterhood or something like that is very different for me because I've never had one. Mm.
I love it. Thank you for being so authentic. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and transparent because I'm pretty sure there are other people who feel that way. Thank you. Ariel.
Um, so I consider myself to be like a connector. So I would say sisterhood is so important to both my work and my business success. A lot of my, like, you know, when I started off kind of hustling, but really, like, so many of my customers are word of mouth and like passing along and like giving me flowers and supporting me on social media. So, and I mean, enough is a tough question, is a tough word to define. Like, what is enough? Like, are we all out here always helping each other like to the fullest extent of our ability? Maybe not, but I do think that women are out here helping each other, supporting each other, showing up for each other. I feel like I see that so much more now, especially as, you know, it's become really apparent that we are deciding kind of, you know, the fate of our country and the economy with our dollars, and people are being so much more intentional about how they support women owned or BIPOC owned or small, like other small businesses. So I think that those things, I think that sisterhood is incredibly important, and I see it in action all the time. Um, yeah, and certainly very important to myself and my work and my business.
Thank you, Ariel. Appreciate that. Um, Michelle.
Well, I think that sisterhood is important. I think that sometimes we don't do as good a job as we could. And some of the things, like, you know how you say how this group doesn't talk to that? One of the things I think that is important is that we support each other. And but not always like, oh girl, everything authentically. I think that sometimes it's important that if you walk by a woman and you see she's struggling, you do something that you can do to help. That you can tell another woman, you know, you look nice. I like what you got going on. Or listen to them with your real ears and comment on what it is. If you have a skill or ability to sort of say, hey, you know, I see you struggling to do this. I'm not trying to get in your business, but you know, here's a network. You know, talk to them. They can help you, or let me connect you with someone. I think that it's important that we support, and I think we should support in both ways. I mean, I've gone to some place and I've heard somebody go, "Oh, I'd never go back there," you know, and it was a black woman owned, and I said because they didn't do this and that. I said, did you give them some feedback? You know, how can I and offer? How can you help?
Right.
You know, because sometimes that's something that you can do. So you got a toolbox. If you've made it this far, and I'm going to say, if you've lived a day longer than anybody, you've got a toolbox, and share what's in that toolbox with your sisters. Your sisterhood will become stronger. But what's more important is that next generation of little girls won't grow up with some of the baggage and crap that we had to deal with. They won't see that as being like so competitive. Oh, we have to do this, and I got to get mine, and she can't. If I can't get mine, and she can't have hers, we'll be able to support and do that because women are the key, and that's why they don't want to elect us. But when you see that women are the key to lift up a woman, you lift up a community. So sisterhood is so important, and we need to constantly work on it.
Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Great advice. Lee.
I can honestly say that sisterhood saved me. Um, I'm on the spectrum and I need advocates, and my advocates are women. My wife of 30 years was able to do something that it takes five other people to do now. But I have someone that lives with me, so they make sure that I turn the stove off. And I have people that go to doctor's appointments and, are there for me. And those women are women that I just find in the community that support me and are like, there's nothing wrong with you, that, I'll be right here for you. So um, I am reminded that I'm not alone when it comes to sisterhood and the women that I surround myself with. That's key for me to not feel alone. And do I think that we support each other enough? I'm with Ariel. The enough word is key here. I think that each situation calls for a different kind of support, and that if we are there ensuring that that's what we're there for, then yeah, we're doing enough. But if we show up and we're still worried about what woman, I don't like her dress, I don't like her hair, I don't like what she's wearing, I don't look like you. When I walk into rooms full of women, they don't walk up to me. I'm not the woman they're running to. I'm the woman they're running away from because I might give them cooties or might make them gay. And it is really hard to feel shunned by people I'm supposed to look for the support in, right? So we still internalize the same systems that oppress us. And I
Mm,
don't know if anybody heard that. I'm going to say it one more time. We
yes.
still
That's right.
internalize the same systems that oppress us. And
Mm-hmm.
because of that, there is a change maker out there that supports women. There's a YWCA out there that supports women. There is a Michelle. There's a Smack. There's all the women on the thing. And if I had everybody's names in a list, I would be able to do better. But Kanisha and Tamia, I think I got us all. And Peach, who brought us together. I mean, you got to give it up for Peach. That's how I know all of you. So I think that we rise together and we can continue to rise. We're just starting to hit that escalator,
Mhm.
and I think that we have nowhere to go but up.
Amazing, amazing. Tamia.
So how important is
Is that a
this?
giant zipper?
Can you guys hear me? Am I good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, how important is sisterhood to me? It's very important. I only grew up with having one sister, and I grew up not really being able to have sister time because I grew up as a boy technically. So it wasn't always able to enjoy and share moments. So growing up, being an adult and trying to find a sisterhood has become very difficult for me because being an entertainer, being surrounded by mostly the gay community of the gay men community, um, they definitely like to be a little bit more catty than the lesbians and the non-binary individuals that I've come across. There's also I've noticed a lot more jealousy because, and I say this very lightheartedly, the if that's even the right term, but the sense of how confident I am being um, about myself, I feel as though makes a lot of other cisgendered women uncomfortable because, as was stated, a lot of the things that were already set in place to oppress us have done their work, and it's working even to this day, unfortunately. Um, but do women support each other enough? No, we'll never support each other enough because we have men who are pulling us aside and pulling us down. We'll never be able to truly support one another because you'll have individuals who are too scared to step up and they are silenced. You have women who are, uh, I guess, too quiet and won't speak up. So I think in order for women to support one another more, I think we need to almost act like men. Like the phrase goes, act like a man, think like a woman. I think that's all like my biggest thing, and how we can probably fix all of that.
Great answers to these questions, everyone. I love it. I love it. I love it. Um, we're going to get into self care and resilience. Okay.
Oh boy.
So, this is a really great question. How do you protect your peace and your mental health while building your empire? How do you protect your peace and your mental health while building your empire? Um, this is a great
How do you
question that's going to help a lot of people who are
protect?
tuned in. I'm going to go to Lee first.
Like, jeez. Okay. Boundaries are your church. They're holy. I don't
Mhm.
keep to mine as well as I should, but they are imperative. Quit staring at me. I no longer am going to apologize for having to take a rest or saying no to people, which I have a really hard time with. I am learning to walk away from people and places that drain me. My peace is non-negotiable. I can't pour into someone else's cup if mine's empty. But the problem is I don't allow my cup to get empty. It kind of just gets broken into a million pieces. So I can't even put it back together to put water in. So Means that my boundaries are my church. There we go. That's it.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you. Thank you. Ariel.
So, how do I protect my peace fiercely? Um, and I do think that that boundary thing, um, hint, hint, I'm the person who makes Lee uphold her boundaries and be reasonable about how much work she is willing able to do. I'm always like, we're in a work smarter, not harder type vibe right now. Um, so how are we doing that? But and that's it. It's just like, hey, I can only do but so much. I can only go but so far. I can only be but so far out of my way. Here is when I'm available for you. And then just draw a clear line. Oh, like when people call me at 8 p.m. on a Sunday, I don't respond until 10 a.m. on Monday. That's on them. Like, don't call me with urgency outside of work hours. Anybody who needs an emergency, that's 911 for you. So yeah, fiercely, I protect my peace. I do not play games with people trying to like infringe. And I set expectations early for how I'm willing to like do business with people. Like, hey, here's the etiquette that I follow. If you are flexible about that, that's fine. But I would prefer that you at least honor my personal and free time when I'm not at work. So that one.
I heard that. Awesome. Great answers, everyone. I'm gonna go to Mia next.
So, um, we all know I'm very transparent, very blunt. Speaking of blunt, how I protect my peace is doing that, just that. I smoke a blunt on a regular basis. I look to my marijuana. Baby, protecting my peace through marijuana is my saving grace for the society of the world. um, no joke. I put my microphone on mute because I be leaning over to the side here, just trying to hit my pen. Just I be, hey, what can I say? And if some of my answers seem a little wonky, a little in the circle, that's why. Because also I have ADHD, and I just feel as though it kind of helps. But truly, in all honesty, aside from partaking in marijuana, um, secluding myself and having that time to realign my mental health or my mental health with my body, and to be able to regain the strength to go ahead and deal with whatever I need to deal with in life. Um, I feel as though it's a great learning experience when you can seclude yourself for just a little bit, um, and really test yourself. Test yourself on like true strengths mentally, what you're capable of doing by yourself. And you know, being able to be stronger on yourself, by yourself, I feel helps build strength in a sisterhood, because you know that at any given point, if my sister's down, I can be there for her because I'm there for me too. So that's just my opinion.
Great, great. Thank you. Thank you, Tamia. Michelle, you're up next.
Okay, I'm going to start by recommending a book, and it's by no relation, but we have worked together in movement. It's called Pleasure Activism, and it's The Politics of Feeling Good, and it's by Adrienne Marie Brown. And I often recommend it first because I love Adrienne. We worked together in the past, but often those of us, I mean, and it's even in our mindset, our society, like, oh, I got to be doing something. I got to be doing something. I got to be doing something. It's okay sometimes to rest. And many people who are in activism, they get burned out because they are lighting the candle at both ends. They're always available. I've heard people right there who talked about Lee. You set some boundaries. You have to set some boundaries. I will tell people I'm a pretty open book, okay? But there are some times when it's okay for me to say no. There are some times when I need to rest and recharge. And it's sometimes when, like you said, Jose said, like, you can call me and I'm not going to respond for, you know, several days, because that might be some time when it is. And there's some times that are sacred. If I'm somewhere where I feel at peace, I'm not gonna respond to you right then and there. I think that one of the things that I often tell people is that if it's a person or a place or a thing or an activity, don't continue to pour yourself into something that's not pouring back into
Mm.
you. Because your cup will end up being empty and you can't do anybody any good. So rest, restore, say no, find things that you like to do and you can do that even you're okay doing by yourself. You don't always have to have a herd with you. Sometimes find things that you can do that feel good just be doing by yourself. Something that's really maybe different from what you always do. But make that sacred place, like make that sacred place where when you go in there, that's your time. And you're rebuilding, you're respiriting, you're filling your cup, and then you can come back out and do it. But make that space unapologetically. You got to come, oh, I didn't call back because I was doing it. No, unapologetically. The world's not going to end.
Awesome. Okay. And I love that response, Michelle. Thank you very much. Next up to the center is Kanisha.
So the question was, how do we as a person kind of like deal with like making peace? Is that my thing that I'm kind of getting at?
Yeah, it says, how do you protect your peace and mental health while building your empire?
Pretty much it like, if you know me, I'm one of those people. I've learned, it sounds rude, but I don't care. I care, but I don't care. Like, I love you to pieces, but I had to learn to fall back from things in order to protect my peace so I can heal, because my health is very important to me. And with my nervous system, it can change a lot mentally, physically, emotionally, and emotionally. So I've learned to literally not care, but love you to pieces. Like, I love you, but there's certain things that I just can't care about because my mental health matters to me. It is very key to my health. With fibromyalgia, um, you have to deal with so much on a daily basis. I have to learn to tell myself that it's okay to walk. I have to tell myself that it's okay to eat. I have to learn to tell myself that every day that it's okay to keep going, because the pain is unreal. And if I were to let someone else's negativity in my mind change my day for what I'm feeling, it's just going to mess up my whole nervous system. And I don't got time for that. So I love you, but I don't care. Like, I mean, like when it like was it Ariel said like she has a time frame. So sometimes I don't respond in a timely fashion, but that's because my mental health is not telling me in its a state to respond right now. I want to give you the best version of me. So in order to keep my peace for my mental health, in order to make things possible for everybody that I'm trying to pour into, positively, is very important to me. So I care, but I don't care.
I love it. I love it. A lot of you have said a lot of things that I apply to myself and that I follow. So I just want to say thank you, thank you. We are going to be wrapping up here in the next 29 minutes. We are getting to the last of our questions. Make sure those that are tuning in that you do tune in next week at 8 p.m. We will be doing a recap of the show with some special hosts, one being Peach, also Angel, and myself. So I want to get into vision and legacy. And this is something that I feel is very important and that women need to hear more about. And here, when we're talking about the faces of fierceness on our panel, I think it's very important that our viewers get an answer on this one. So y'all ready? If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be? Now I know y'all heard this at a team meeting, at a as a breakthrough question, icebreaker. If you could give yourself, your younger self, one piece of advice, what would it be? And I'm going to go to Tamia.
All right. So to give my younger self advice, the one piece of advice, to not be afraid to do it. Whatever it is, whatever you think, don't be afraid to do it. Don't hesitate to do it. Just do it. Because growing up, I always second guess myself because, I was always told I wasn't allowed to do certain things. Being a boy, wanting to be a girl, playing with Barbies and things like that, you're always told you're not allowed to do something. So when you're actually out on your own to be a woman, and I guess one of my biggest things and the main focus of don't be afraid to do it is finding somebody who's going to accept you in a romantic sense. And I feel as though like I've missed a lot of romantic opportunities because of my own self-doubt and fear of how to kind of perceive a lot of that being always on my own. So I guess that would probably my advice is don't be afraid to do it, just do it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Appreciate that. Michelle.
Um, well, I would tell my younger self to see the world, see more of the world. Um, what we have here in this country is not the end all to be all. And I've seen a few other countries to know that, and to see the role of women and to see what we could be and to connect with myself as a member of the African diaspora. We're more than just African Americans. There's a diaspora of people of African descent, and there's a history in that. So that's what I would tell my younger self: see the world.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. Ariel.
Um, I would tell my younger self that you don't have to prove anything to anyone. That you are good enough as you are. I struggled with that a lot um, when I was like both growing up and like you know deciding what I wanted to be when I grow up, which I assume will happen any day now. Um, but yeah, I would tell myself that you're good enough as you are, and you don't have to do anything else.
Awesome, Ariel. Kanisha.
I would tell my younger self that being the person that you are in your childhood can help define who you are as an adult. So I would tell my younger self to always, I guess, I don't know because I've always been this way. So authenticity is something that I would tell myself to continue to always be. I've always been authentic. I've always been eccentric. I've always been myself. Never change for anyone. Always be who you are, regardless of what people think. I lived a life of being bullied, so um, I would definitely say always be who you are, be authentic, and never change. Most definitely would be something I guess I would tell myself.
Awesome, awesome. And Lee.
I would tell my younger self that I'm not broken, that I'm becoming. The world might not understand you yet, but it doesn't mean you don't belong, and that people love you, and people need you, and that you're powerful. That's
That's
it.
what's up. I like that. Thank you. So, um, this next question is what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind for the next generation of queens? Type of legacy. And I'm going to go with Ariel.
Um, I mean, I hope I leave a legacy of queens who understand how to crown each other, right? Like, I'm hoping that we create systems that help women help each other and help themselves, that become self-sustaining, so that it exists well after I'm gone or have a personal hand in it, um, and create a culture of that kind of support and sisterhood that we all hope that we get to be a part of and see every day, right? So that would be the legacy I hope to leave. Fingers crossed on working on
Got this. All right, Kanisha.
The legacy I would love to leave for the queens would be the legacy of love. I'm really big on love, and I'm a firm believer that love is a frequency, not an emotion. So I am would love to leave the legacy of love to teach queens and other women how to love one another without animosity, without the diversity we have, without any negativity. I'm a firm believer that love wins all the time. When you move in love, it's just a powerful thing. And if we could all ride that same wave and just not love takes out negativity, love takes out aggression, love takes out so much that we don't need. If you would just ride that wave, I just would love to leave a legacy of love.
Awesome. Thank you, Kanisha. Tamia.
Um, I think a big thing for me would be treating others the way you want to be treated. Um, I feel as though if it kind of piggyback off of what Kanisha was saying about love, when you love yourself, you're able to spread love. When you have a secure mind, you're able to spread a secure mind. Um, but people who have misery and doubt seem to also spread those as well. So treat others the way you want to be treated. If you're feeling some kind of way and you don't feel as though like that's a positive or uplifting thing, see how to change it. Ask somebody to change it. But whatever you do, make sure that you treat somebody the way that you want to be treated.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Tamia. Lee.
Um, I would leave behind the knowledge that they don't have to shrink to survive. That women can lead with softness, wear sequins, cry, and still close a deal. I want them to inherit a world where power doesn't mean conformity and success doesn't require sacrifice.
Chill. Chill. Thank you, Lee. Michelle.
Well, I am fortunate. Um, I work not only with people, but with kids. I have a granddaughter. This is my legacy. And through her and others that I do, I want to have a world where her legacy is that she can be as happy playing with her Tonka trucks as she can with her dolls, that she can want to be and can be a hairdresser, an astronaut, a doctor, or a writer, that she can read whatever books she wants because they won't be banned and she can learn from them, and that she will, and now she uses she. She has at one point in time used pronouns of they and them, and she understands that and respects that in each and every person. That's the legacy that I try to pour into my community, into everyone, but I have the brilliant opportunity to pour it into this child and to see the fruits of my labor. That's my legacy. One day she's going to rule the world because she always already will tell you, Who rules the world? Girls rule the world.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Michelle. So, ladies, we are wrapping up the show, okay? And I want to close out this crown moment, and I would love for you to share with our viewers, what is your queen mantra, a quote or affirmation you live by?
Hmm.
Quote or affirmation you live by. I'm gonna start it off if y'all don't mind. Since I was in college, one of the things that I lead by and as part of my life is failure is never final and success is never ending. And my grandfather always sent that to me with every letter he wrote to me in college. So now I'm going to kick it over to Tamia.
I got this journal because the quote on it spoke volumes to me for many different reasons. And it's there is no limit to what we as women can accomplish, Michelle Obama.
Yep.
I see this on a daily basis, and I realize that there is nothing that we can't accomplish as long as we have the mind that we do.
Chill. All right, Michelle.
Okay. Mine comes from, I had a friend who I met late in her life, and it's a translation of a Hebrew phrase, and I'm not even going to try to say that, but it is, I will become what I choose to become. And that's how Freddie lived her life, long before I was a twinkle in my parents' eyes. And that's what she taught me, and I believe that.
Great, great. All right, Kanisha.
My favorite line that I tell people all the time, there is no you without you. And that last you is in all caps. I tell people that even when it comes to your health, your mental health, um, physically, mentally, emotionally, if you don't get up, you personally don't get up and do those things, there's no you without you. So you have to take care of you in order for there to be a you to continue. So there is no you without you is my absolute favorite one that I tell people all the time.
I like that. You got to drop that in the chat, to the group chat. Yeah, you got to drop that in there because
I
I need to print that out and post it up on the mirror
said,
because some days I feel like I just can't make it sometime. I appreciate that. Uh, yeah, I like that. Uh, Ariel.
Um, I kind of I try to live by the quote: "You can't unsee it, so you must undo it." To always make sure that you don't turn a blind eye to like injustices or bigotry or whatever it is, and that you be a force for the change that you want to see. So that is my quote. You can't unsee it, so you must undo it.
I love it. Mm. Lee.
So I have two. One is I will not apologize for taking up space I've earned,
Oh,
and
yeah.
right. And the second one is I'm the storm they warned you about, but I'm the rainbow at the end too.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Woo,
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Yeah, drop those. Y'all drop those mantras in the group chat, please. I got some copying to do here in the morning, and some put them on some stickers all over the place, even in the office at work. Trust me, I'm not playing. Thank y'all. So we're gonna bring everyone to the camera, bring everyone up, and at this time, um, you know, we got to learn a lot about each other and about this panel tonight. So now, if there are any questions from our panelists to each other, we can do that now. You just come off your mic and answer your question if you have one, and we're gonna answer those.
I would like to say, Tamia, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a long
I
time.
know. So me and Kanisha had the lovely, lovely time we had a photo shoot down in Salzer with a group of us. It's been a while since we've seen each other, but I've been great. I've actually been wanting to actually hit you up to do a photo shoot here soon.
Okay.
So, definitely going to be spreading the love and support in that way.
Thank you. Yo, we had so much fun at that photo shoot. My stomach hurt. Like Onyx was a baby.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Casey
So
and his fan. Oh my God. Stopping traffic. I cannot.
I mean, hey, me on top of a truck.
Listen, hey, it happened on the back of the motorcycle,
I
all of
love it.
that.
I have a question for the panel. This is God, by the way.
Oh,
Oh
Casey.
God,
Listen,
goddess.
this is Tab, by the way.
So from you guys, how important is this show for women?
Um, I'm just going to go ahead and start since I just started talking. So for me, I think it's very important to for this to have the different viewpoints of us ladies. I think that we have the different we kind of touch point for everybody out there in some way, shape, or form. Me, trans, Latina, and Asian women, being Filipina. You have the white, less feminine of the females. You have all of my beautiful BIPOC goddesses, absolutely. So I think that the importance of this show is the diversity in it.
Yes, I love that too. Yeah, I think Tamia hit it on the nail for me. Ariel.
Yeah, I was gonna say for me, I love the diversity of it because I feel like you get to sit in echo chambers sometimes, right? As you try to protect your peace by
Mhm.
not being with people who are too crazy way over there. But I also love that I don't feel like anybody had any hesitation about being honest and vulnerable and answering any of these
Mhm.
questions. That could have said a lot about you, right? And you know, and I think that the questions also asked a lot of us to, to be honest and vulnerable with. So I appreciate everybody here being fully present and fully engaged.
I think it's important for women because there is this huge conversation like who's woman enough, who's real woman. People who will look at smack and go like, oh, you want to be no, none of us have turned in our female card, and we all have our woman card, and that's not an issue. We all have our woman card, but it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum. There's no one size fit all. And that's also the beauty of us. Look at us. We are beautiful. We are beautiful in our own way. And that's what the message needs to be to women who watch. You're somebody around here you're going to kind of sort of identify with, or maybe not, but you're beautiful. You're strong. You're a queen.
Chill,
Amen.
chill.
I
Preach.
think that I think that this show is very beneficial to all women, and especially like we're saying, and I said this from the very beginning when I was looking at the people that were on there and in our first group chat and things. The diversity of the women, I always say I'm your favorite ally. Like I just love like being in rooms with people and just loving on people. It's my thing. And to be able to spread love in this light as a heterosexual woman with all the other diversity is just beautiful. You get to hear other people's opinions on how other people think, and just the different perspectives is just beautiful for me. So I love it, and I think that like everyone's saying, it's going to appeal to everyone. You have all walks. You have different people to look into. You have Tamia, you have Lee, you have Michelle, you have Smack, you have everybody. You have all of us to look at. You may not like me, but you might like Tamia. You might like Tamia's voice. You may not like Tamia, but you like Michelle. I think it's just a big, diverse group of people that we'll be able to appeal to and be able to give all of our opinions and be able to open up and show our vulnerability.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be neat for all of us to get to know one another as well, because none of us, I know Ariel, but And I've met Smack once, but I know Peach, so that that's what drew us all together. But I think getting to know each one of us, that's what I'm looking forward to, is a strength that you will have that I don't have, that I can learn how to have that strength because you have that strength. And because I see another woman has that strength, I can mimic and mirror that same thing, right? So we need mirroring voices out there. People need to hear the same thing. They don't need to hear that we're separated. They need to see that we're together. And I think that that's what's going to be the cool thing about this, is that we're all coming from different backgrounds. We're all coming from different areas of life and ages and stages. And I think that it just allows for us to be growing in a new way, in a new chapter of our lives. So I'm excited.
One of my favorite things that I've noticed already is the candidness from each of us. We all have a life to live, and we have no qualms about sharing those stories for those individuals out there who want to listen. I truly appreciate every one of you sharing your stories with me, and I am honored to be with you.
Thank you.
Oh,
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you too.
Same.
I think we're all very relatable too. We're all very relatable.
yeah.
There's somebody on there, out of all of us, there's somebody that somebody can relate to. Somebody
Um,
can relate to one of us, to be able to get that comfort, to be able to just breathe and be like, you know what? I am not alone, especially for someone who feels alone at times. A lot of the times, I feel like this group of women can make people feel not alone, because there's so much diversity and there's so much relatability here.
yes, absolutely.
So, God, did
Um,
we answer your question, God?
and God, y'all need to know that I cry a lot. So it was really hard to answer that question about my younger self. I was like, oh, geez. So I cry a lot. Y'all get prepared. I have
That's
tissues.
okay.
So
I'm hormonal too because the HRT with my ass as well. So I'll be right there with you, tear for tear. Let's go.
And I'm gonna be the one over here like, is everybody okay? Do we need to breathe? Do we need to breathe? Like in meditation, we all need to breathe real quick. Take some time.
Absolutely.
Are we okay?
Yeah.
I
And
literally started getting messages from all my friends going, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yes."
I actually chose those questions just so that people could get to know the panel. And some were to go deep, and we want to be as transparent. I don't want you to think I did it on purpose, but I wanted people to really see that this what this panel is about, who we are. And I'm pretty sure as our shows go, they would get to learn, and people would be able to take away some things. So we're going to check in with God, aka Pete. Did we answer all your questions tonight, or did anyone else have any others?
I have.
Well, I thought that it was really nice to hear, not only from, I'm pointing, look at me, I'm pointing at the screen, Kanisha, and Smack, when you were talking about health, because so many women, that's an issue. That's an issue. And we've gone through that thing where, well, the doctor
Mm.
says, and we go through that, and that you two are both talking about real
Mm-hmm.
issues, and that there are other ways of dealing with it. I wish, I mean, I have had a couple of cancer scares, and what they gave you is scary. And to know, I mean, USL, like, you can do this, you can do that, and Smack is like, it's not. I'm working through it. I'm striving and surviving, and I thought that that was really important that you two both touched on that and were so open with that.
Yeah. At times, um, in order for me to get through what I'm going through, I have to share. Even
Mhm.
though I may have, close family that doesn't want you to put it out there. But I
Right.
try to share as much as I can. So I ain't thinking about it so much.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I can help
Mhm.
someone else because that's how it's poured into me. I have a mentor, you know what I'm saying? And so I try to help other people
Mhm.
so they can, just be more tuned in. So I appreciate that. And then when Kanisha accepted my friend request, I just love all the education on something that I'm kind of have just tiptoed into. I'm not fully 2 foot into the cannabis world because I hear it a lot in my groups that I'm in for cancer. That is one of the things. So when she started talking about certain things on her page and the education that just flows out, I'm just like, wow, like she could be a doctor in this. I mean, she knows all this stuff because I just thought it was great, and I've been screenshotting stuff and sharing stuff to my phone so I can go back and really, take a look at it because I'm not a person who smokes it. You know what I'm saying? I may want to digest it just to help with the pain that I'm going through. Put it in some cookies or some butter, and
You
I
can
just
just
want to
drink
really.
it. There's a soda out there that has
Oh
cannabis in it.
yeah, I know about y'all. Y'all got all them drinks down there in Sussex, man. I've been
I
Drink,
hearing.
no,
I could.
Maryland.
I'm gonna have to come to Delaware and take y'all. I'm gonna have to come to Delaware and go in there and shop with y'all and tell y'all what to
Oh,
get.
Hey, it's recreational now in Maryland, in Delaware, as of August 1st.
oh
Yeah, so
wow.
I'll come in. I have to come down there with y'all so y'all can shop and get the right things. I have no problem helping with that. That is my forte. I love it. It's a passion of mine. That is actually how I put my Crohn's disease in remission during COVID-19 by using cannabis. It was beautiful for focusing on certain cannabinoids and terpenes was beautiful for me. So being able to help people in that light is just, and being able to break that stoner stigma of cannabis, and especially as a black woman, it's, because that was what black people went through, incarcerated for too. So be able to break that stigma, be able to
Hmm.
teach you about terpenes and cannabinoids and things like that, and not just be that black woman who just, oh, she smokes. Yes, I smoke, I do edibles, I do vape carts, I do all of that, and I know how to use it medicinally to be able to help me throughout my day and be able to help other people use it too. So if y'all need help, let me know, because that is fun for me.
And it's like I enjoy the fact that it's no longer just just weed. It's I'm not just
Mhm.
smoking. I'm This is my medicine. It's just a
Yes,
different way of taking it. Absolutely, I love that because
it's
I'm the same
natural.
way.
It's
ADHD,
natural.
very positive. I'd rather just take something holistic versus pharmaceutical. So I'm right there with you.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. I appreciate y'all giving all this information. We will be back. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to have my calendar out. Sorry.
Oh,
Our next panel show, actually, our next panel show with all the panelists will be
18.
um, on the 18th at 8 p.m. Make sure you tune in. Next Monday, the 11th, make sure you tune in as we do a debrief. I hope I'm saying it right. As we do a debrief of the show, and that will be with the CEO of H.O.P, Peach, also Angel from IME, and myself. So make sure you guys who are looking at us tonight tune in next week as we break it down, and we will see the panel back on the 18th.
All right.
Everyone, thank you so much. Tonight has been amazing.
Thank you. Love
Thank
y'all.
you. Love y'all. I'll make sure to have my camera right next time. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right.